Floyd, we've been friends since 2002. There was a point where I'm looking at things and I'm going, yo, we kind of got the wrong messaging point because we're saying we got all the money in the world, we're going to burn it, we're going to get it again. So what? When you say change it, he goes, nah, you do that, Fa. He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money.
Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy, back at it. And listen, I gotta tap in immediately because Floyd Mayweather is having maybe the worst stretch of his entire career off the boxing scale. Like, I'm talking lawsuits stacking up back to back to back. And the latest one? $4.65 million over fight money he allegedly took and never delivered on. And you already know who pulled up in the comments before the ink even dried on this lawsuit. 50 Cent again. We break down the whole situation, what Floyd's actually being accused of, how deep this rabbit hole goes, and what 50 had to say about it. Smash that subscribe button if you're new because Floyd's legal troubles right now are basically a whole TV season. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the breakdown, because the headline alone doesn't even cover how wild this is. A company called CSI Sports Events filed suit against Floyd in New York, and they're claiming they paid him about $4.5 million up front, advance money for exclusive rights to promote two fights. One was supposed to be an exhibition with Mike Tyson. The other was a real sanctioned rematch with Manny Pacquiao that would have actually counted against Floyd's perfect 50-0. Now here's where it gets messy. CSI says one day after they handed Floyd's team another $150,000 in cash for pre-fight medical stuff, Floyd turns around and announces a completely different fight against a Greek kickboxer in Athens with a company that had nothing to do with CSI's deal. So CSI is in court saying, we paid for exclusivity and you went and booked somebody else the very next day. They're asking the court for the full $4.65 million back, and they want an injunction to straight up block that Greece fight from happening on June 27th until this gets sorted out. And it doesn't stop there. The suit also gets into how Floyd allegedly had a separate deal in the works with a different production company for the Pacquiao fight on Netflix, one that came with millions more in advances. So now you got multiple parties, multiple advances, multiple fights that either didn't happen or got moved around. It's a whole mess of paperwork, bro. And listen, I need y'all to understand, this $4.65 million suit isn't even the only fire Floyd's dealing with right now. This man's legal situation is stacked. Just before this dropped, it came out that Floyd is facing actual felony charges in Nevada, allegedly wrote a bad check for $200,000 to a high-end jewelry company for a watch, and then went ghost on them, stopped answering calls, stopped responding until they had no choice but to file charges. On top of that, Floyd's got a $340 million lawsuit he filed with Showtime, claiming his former manager and the network worked together to siphon money out of his accounts over the years. He's also suing a former associate for $175 million, claiming that guy ran off with his money. And there are reports he's at risk of having his passport flagged over $7.25 million in unpaid taxes. So when you stack it all up, the felony check charge, the $340 million Showtime suit, the $175 million suit against his old rep, the tax situation, and now this $4.65 million suit on top, you start to see why people online are saying Floyd's financial empire might not be as bulletproof as the Money Mayweather brand has always sold us. Now, you already know when Floyd's name starts trending for legal trouble, it is mathematically guaranteed that 50 Cent is going to show up in the replies. These two have had beef for years at this point, ever since their friendship fell apart, and 50 has made it his whole personality to clown Floyd every single time his name hits the headlines. When the felony check story broke, 50 didn't even wait a full day. He posted the headline straight to his page and wrote, and I'm paraphrasing the energy here but keeping it close to his actual words, basically asking Floyd what's really going on, saying if he needed money he could have just called, and joking that the feds were now looking for him. Classic 50, mocking and offering help in the same breath. And this isn't new behavior either. Back when Floyd filed that $340 million lawsuit with Showtime, 50 hopped on Instagram almost immediately and roasted him for it, bringing up old jokes about Floyd's reading comprehension with contracts and throwing out lines about getting him back in the ring with Mike Tyson or Terrence Crawford to make up the money. So when this new $4.65 million CSI suit broke, the entire internet was basically just waiting, refreshing 50's page, because at this point, it's not will 50 respond, it's how's he gonna word it this time. Now here's the thing people gotta understand about this dynamic, and it's actually deeper than just clout chasing. 50 has said publicly years ago, before any of this blew up, that he used to try to warn Floyd about exactly this kind of thing, about spending recklessly, about not having the right people reading his contracts, about the lifestyle outpacing the money coming in. 50's whole thing has always been that Floyd built his entire brand around flash and cash, and once the big paydays slow down, that same lifestyle becomes the thing that buries you in lawsuits. So when 50 clowns him, it's not just beef talk for the clout. It's I told you so energy from somebody who genuinely watched this coming from a mile away. So where does this actually go from here? CSI is asking the court to block that Grease exhibition fight from happening on the 27th, which is coming up fast, so we could see a judge step in before fight night even gets here. If that injunction gets granted, that's a whole new layer of embarrassment on top of everything else. And knowing 50, if that fight actually gets blocked in court, you already know he's going to have something to say about that too. This dude does not let a single news cycle pass without checking in. Floyd's team hasn't put out a real detailed response to the CSI suit specifically yet, just general pushback on the other cases, so we're keeping an eye on that. The second his camp responds, or the second 50 drops his official reaction to this specific suit, we're making the update video. So real talk, y'all think Floyd's actually in financial trouble, or is this just lawsuit season for a guy who's always had targets on his back because of how much money he's made? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one of them. Like the video if this keeps you locked in. Subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Because trust me, with this much smoke, there's going to be a next update. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.